So my idea, because obviously this isn't going to be like a normal meeting, is I wanted to do one group activity with you guys, and then why don't we open the floor up for some thoughts, and maybe goodbyes.
My favorite memory of Into the Mind's Eye was actually the recent meeting we had about doing this video, because never in my life have I seen so many students act so passionate about something. You don't really see any of these other clubs fighting so hard to either get reinstated or to do something about it. And just to have all these guys together and to just feel so driven to try and bring this back, it nearly brought me to tears. It inspired me.
And I always have thought of it being there for me for the rest of my high school career, and be able to come back and see it and see the other people whose whose lives are getting changed by just going to this meeting every once a week. I mean, it's helped me so much with being more confident in the way I act and speak and write. I used to go and say, well, it's not very good and I don't really like it, but you can read it anyways and see what you think. And I don't do that anymore.
Alright, so I don't really have as great of a story as probably most of the other people here, but I still do have a story to share about it Into the Mind's Eye. The thing is, I joined last year, later in the year than most, and so I didn't get a full experience, but Into the Mind's Eye did mean a lot to me, because I really enjoy literature and reading, and there wasn't many places in school that seemed to promote the enjoyment of things of that nature. So when I found this, after I got over my initial fear of it, I came here and I found that we have some very talented artists in our school.
I forgot what the title was supposed to be. By Anonymous. I put pen to paper, slowly at first, with the weight of words unwritten on my mind. But soon the ink starts flowing free, and by degrees the words begin to come together. The pace begins to quicken, getting faster, never slowing. The words are on their own now, I need not think, they leap onto the page complete. The levee bursts, forth come the words of their own accord. They were always there, unwritten but alive. So what do we all think?
It's quite the performance.
Yeah.
Read Betty.
What?
Read Betty.
Reading Betty.
Yeah, but he does it so well.
Did we have any comments
for the
on this
poem.
poem? This poem.
There's no
Pretty
limit.
awesome, okay?
Yes.
I liked
Yes,
it.
but we're talking about the merits of the verse.
Bones.
What?
I don't know, I thought of bones.
Bones.
Yeah.
Bones. Hmm.
Alright.
That's interesting. Did anyone else think? Let's do some free association here. What was the first thing you thought of when you heard the poem? Bones.
Words.
Paper.
How imaginative.
I just
I think I
remember it was
would.
on
Yes, you do.
kind of crumpled piece of paper with terrible handwriting that I could barely read.
Yeah, that
It
was.
That
was
was mine.
hard typing it out.
Yeah.
What does Into the Mind's Eye mean to me? Well, I guess you could say I come from a rather turbulent home life, which probably won't mean much unless I give you a brief summary. My father was very physically, emotionally, mentally abusive to my whole family. And my parents divorced when I was 6. It should have gotten better then, but it really didn't. I was forced, literally, to visit with my dad in New York City, all by myself for weeks at a time. And there's probably no other word for it than torture. I couldn't really talk to anyone without him listening. I couldn't go anywhere without him watching. And I later found out that he was recording me, which was creepy, but it wasn't easy. So couple that with my immediate family being in and out of jail and hospitals, it wasn't fun growing up. And then I I entered high school in 9th grade, and I was this shy, awkward little kid. And my friend Anissa dragged me to an Into the Mind's Eye meeting, and I brought this short story. And while they were reading it and reviewing it, I had to leave the room because I was just so nervous. And then I came back, and they were just amazed. They said this is one of the best things we've read in a long time. And slowly, I guess my confidence started to grow, and then I became editor, and then I was standing in front of 20, 30 people, some older, some younger, and they all just listening to me. And no one had ever really done that for me before. And now that Mind's Eye is canceled, I'm really worried what's going to happen. You know, I don't want to lose that part of me.
I first heard about Into the Mind's Eye when I was a freshman last year on the announcements. I came to probably the second or third meeting, and I was pretty much hooked right away. And I had never shared my writing with anyone before, not even my parents. And after I started coming to Into the Mind's Eye, I was slowly starting to share all my work with everybody. And my stepmom went to Into the Mind's Eye when she came to West Genesee like 15 years ago, the first year that it started. And it just would suck to see something that, you know, old and long-running and nice die. And I remember once that one of our members had a play, a short story turned into a play, and we all had parts of the play, and it was very comical. And we messed up a lot, but it was fun because it was just, you know, we're one big family of people messing up on a play.
Because my friend Paul wasn't into the Mind's Eye, and I really didn't like writing at all because it was boring and I thought it was dumb. But then after my friend Paul left Into the Mind's Eye, I stayed because I met a lot of friends, and I've had more friends now than I ever had before. And I liked Into the Mind's Eye too because when I tried out for basketball teams, I'd never make it, no matter how hard I tried, and I have no musical ability whatsoever, so I was never in any extracurricular activities. And this helped me a lot because then I started writing, and then my English grade went up like 10 points. I had like an 80 and I have like a 90. And it just helped my writing a lot more. Oh, and I've never written a poem for fun before, and this is the first time I've ever written poems for fun, ever.
I joined Into the Mind's Eye when I was a freshman, and I really don't feel like I got enough time in this group because I just really enjoyed it so much, and I enjoyed seeing my writing in there. The one time I went to the editing session and for what we were going to put into the magazine, and my writing was in there, and I was just so excited because, you know, I'm not usually published anywhere else, especially not like the poetry that I write, because I personally used to think it stunk. But, you know, it just gave me a lot of inspiration, this group, and without it, I don't know, you know, what I'd do with my writing.
Before Into the Mind's Eye, I didn't have any self-confidence at all in anything that I wrote or anything that I did for English class or really any other class for that matter. But after I started coming to Mind's Eye in my freshman year with some of my friends, I started submitting some of my poems, and they actually got submitted. And that was the best feeling in the world, to see your name in print. It was amazing. And to think that this is going to be cut is just, it's really, really depressing because I love this place. It's like a second home with everyone here.
I joined Into the Mind's Eye at the beginning of my junior year. But I had work in the Mind's Eye my previous year, my sophomore year, because during that year I had taken Mrs. Middaw's creative writing class, which was a fantastic class. And in that class we wrote short stories and poetry, and I wrote a one-act play, which wasn't very good, but the fun thing was that I got to write it. And some of this work was submitted into the Mind's Eye, and some of it was accepted. And, you know, it was a wonderful feeling to see my name and my work in print. Even if it was just something as small as the school literary magazine, it was big to me. Now, cutting something like this, cutting this wonderful opportunity to let other students have the same experience I had, which was to have their work in print, feels tremendously short-sighted and tremendously anti-intellectual. Because very often in high school, and in all levels of education, literature is tedium, writing is work, and poetry is indecipherable gibberish. but when you understand the other side of the writing process, it gives you an ability to appreciate writing and poetry and literature in a way that you can never get from a classroom, no matter how well it is taught.